Hi, Lizelle. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Hey. I'm even playing a song for you guys, huh? How are you? I'm wearing my Blackbird Books beanie again because, hey, how about that? It's very cold. Hi, Lizelle. Yeah, hey, bang. Hey, Nikki. So today I'm reading for you from Queenie. I got it for that much. So I'm very happy about this vibe. But yeah, how are you? How was your reading week? Was it good? Yes, no? So, I did say Thursdays and Fridays I won't have anything planned for reading, but Mondays is New Daughters of Africa reading, and then Tuesdays is feminist text from maybe next week I'll read from this on Tuesday. I love this cover. I'm gonna post something tomorrow that I took from that. And yay, so yeah, Nikki says yay, Queenie. We're reading from Queenie. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna read what I found on Goodreads about this book. So hey, Tava. So Tava says I'm excited. Queenie is my next read. Yay. So we've been trying to get Queenie for a while, a whole bunch of us, and Bargain Books came through for all of us. Like, this prize is like yo guys, like, my relationship with Bargain Books is just on another tip, okay? Like, but anyway, I know there's other books that are like waiting for me to come and fetch them that are at 70 rand, and there's just too many of them, and one of them I'm actually giving away. So next week I will be running a giveaway to celebrate the YouTube channel getting to 50 subscribers, because now today it's like 54 or whatever, but I will be making sure that the number goes up for maybe I think it'll run from next week sometime until month end July, just so we can like rack up the subscribers. I need the title, the color. Yes, Queen. You need it. So it's one of Time's 100 best books of the year, and it's one of NPR's best books of 2019, and it's named one of the most anticipated books of 2019 by Women's Day, Newsday, Publishers Weekly, Bustle, and Book Riot. So it is amazing. Queenie Jenkins is a 25-year-old Jamaican British woman living in London, straddling two cultures and slotting neatly into neither. She works at a national newspaper where she's constantly forced to compare herself to her white middle-class peers. After a messy breakup from her long-term white boyfriend, Queenie seeks comfort in all the wrong places, including several hazardous men who do a good job of occupying brain space and a bad job of affirming self-worth. As Queenie careens from one questionable decision to another, she finds herself wondering, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? Who do you want to be? All of the questions today's woman must face in a world trying to answer them for her. Yo, guys. Hey, Balo. Yeah, it's Friday. I can roll my nina, so I might as well make myself look pretty nyana. Lippy. With fresh and honest prose from Jojo Moyes, Queenie is a remarkably relatable exploration of what it means to be a modern woman searching for meaning in today's world. So I know there's another version of this coming, which is gonna have gold, because I think it's to celebrate some award. But yeah, there's another one version of this that's coming out, and it will be gold instead of pink. And then the actual book, the pages will be gold. Oh, well, the outside of it. But yeah, there's a lot of. I think there's another one that's orange. So there's a lot. I think it's the Kindle version that's orange. Yeah, this book is a lot. But yeah, let's go. I like there's gold as well. The cover is really nice. So yeah, yay for yummy covers. I'm gonna read. Hold on. Because I know there was sorry, I just want to read something. There is something that I saw earlier, but now oh yeah, so Candice Carty-Williams won. She is the first black author to win Book of the Year at the British Book Awards. Yeah, she posted that gold cover on Twitter. That's Ms. Weiner. How many pages? I don't know. 400, 390 is the last page. Yeah, Ms. Weiner is like following all these authors. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, that gold cover is amazing. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So I'm gonna read the author's bio and then we'll start reading. Okay. Okay. Queen, you must get this. Go to Bargain Books tomorrow for your, instead of doing makeup hauls. Don't drive don't be shooting. Go and buy this book. Let me read her bio at the bar. Candice Carty-Williams was born in 1989, the result of an affair between a Jamaican cab driver who barely speaks and a Jamaican Indian dyslexic receptionist who speaks more than anyone else in the world. Most mothers do though, right? Our mothers outtalk their husbands. Yeah. She studied media at Sussex because her sixth form teacher said that she wasn't clever enough to do English, but she showed them all by first working at the Guardian Guide and then moving into publishing at age 23. Carty-Williams has worked on marketing, literary fiction, non-fiction, and graphic novels ever since. Her first highlight was interviewing David Cronenberg and telling him that if she were a white man, she'd like to look like him. In response, he called her a delightful person. In 2016, I don't know who David Cronenberg is, British probably. In 2016, she created and launched The Guardian and Fourth Estate BAME Short Story Prize, a prize that aims to find, champion, and celebrate Black, Asian, and minority ethnic writers. She also contributes regularly to Refinery 29 and ID. So that is, hi Makanaka, which Bargain Books did you get it at? I went to, my local Bargain Books is Rand Park Ridge. So I went to Rand Park Ridge, but you can just inbox them on Instagram and then find out which stores have Queenie for this price. Or they can just send it to your local one. That time I'm shooting a disc game haul tomorrow. Hey, hi everybody, let's see. I'm always conscious about the book size because I'm busy and time conscious. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna start reading from chapter 1. I'll stop at 5:30 to read the comments if there are any, because it's 5:15 now, and then we'll continue. So chapter 1 opens up with Queenie sending an SMS to her boyfriend. Queenie, in the stirrups now, wish you were here. I locked my phone and carried on looking at the ceiling before unlocking it. Oh, not the Yeah, okay. I locked my phone and carried on looking at the ceiling before unlocking it and sending a follow-up XX. So, hugs. That would prove to Tom that I wasn't as emotionally detached as he accuses me of being. Can you just bring your bottom right to the edge of the exam table? The doctor asked as I inched myself down closer to her face. Honestly, I have no idea how they do it. Deep breath, please. She said this a bit too cheerfully and with no further warning inserted what felt like the world's least ergonomic dildo into me and moved it around like a joystick. She placed a cold hand onto my stomach, pressing down every few seconds and pursing her lips every time I squealed. To divert my attention away from this manipulation of my insides, I checked my phone. No reply. So, what do you do, Queenie? The doctor asked, glancing at my chart. Wasn't it enough that she could see literally inside me? Did she need to know about my day job? I work at a newspaper, I said, lifting my head up to make eye contact, as it seemed like the polite thing to do. That's a fancy career, she pressed on, plunging her way back in. What do you do at the newspaper? I work at the Daily Read, the culture section, listings and reviews, and in the technology department? That makes sense, she said. I hoisted myself up on my elbows to correct her, but stopped when I saw how concerned she looked. I glanced at the nurse behind her, who looked just as concerned, and then back at the doctor. She still looked concerned. I couldn't see my own face, but guessed that my expression mirrored both of theirs. Hold on a tick. We're just going to... Ash, could you get Dr. Smith in here? The nurse bustled out. Many uncomfortable minutes passed until the nurse came back in with another doctor, a man who looked as standard as his surname would suggest. Let's get a closer look, Dr. Smith said, bending down and peering between my legs. What's wrong? Can you not find it? I asked, worried that the coil had maybe been absorbed into my womb, the way I still worried that every tampon I'd ever inserted was still knocking about inside me. What do you think, Ray? The first doctor asked her colleague. We might need to get Dr. Ellison in here, you know. Dr. Smith replied, standing back up and putting his hands on his hips. I saw a cleaner mopping up some sick in the hallway. Why don't you get him in here to have a look as well? I asked all three hospital staff as they stared at the ultrasound image. Aha! Look, the coil is in there, the original doctor said, pointing at a speck on my on-screen uterus with the excitement of someone who just discovered a new planet. Relieved, I lay back on the examination table. But could you pop your clothes back on and have a seat in the waiting room? We just need to have a quick word and then we'll call you back in. Never, ever trust a Gemini man. I plonked myself down on a chair next to Aunt Maggie. Here, she said, holding out a bottle of antibacterial hand gel. She squeezed some into my palm, and as soon as I had rubbed it in, she grabbed my hand to consolidate her point. I thought that Maggie coming with me would be a calming and firm adult presence, but instead she was just transferring her germ OCD onto me. I tried to focus on the peeling gynecology unit sign on the wall to stop myself from pulling my hand out of her grip. You know, I don't believe in astrology, Maggie. She squeezed my hand tighter, I suppose by way of punishment. I slithered my hand out of hers and crossed my arms, tucking my hands into my armpits so she couldn't grab at them again. Your generation don't believe in anything, my aunt told me. But listen to what I'm telling you. It's for your own good. Gemini men, they are takers. They will take every single thing from you and they will drain you. They will never give to you, ever. Because it's not about you. It's always about them. And they will leave you broken, in a heap, on the floor. I've seen it happen 1,000,000 times, Queenie. The woman opposite raised a palm to the ceiling and in agreement. As you know, I steer clear of all men apart from our Lord and Father because I haven't had time for them since 1981. But believe you me, it's the Gemini ones you need to watch yourself with. Get yourself involved with a man born in June and there'll be trouble. I chanced an interjection, but Tom is born in June, and instantly regretted it. Oh, exactly. This is what I'm saying, Maggie exclaimed. And where is he, please? She looked at me quizzically. You're here at the hospital and he's nowhere to be seen. I opened my mouth to make the point that not all men born at a certain time of the year were variations of Lucifer walking the earth, but always wanting to fully explore any subject, Maggie had more to say. In the increasingly busy waiting room, she continued to use her best outside voice to lecture me and everyone sitting around us. And though as too anxious about the goings-on of my womb to take any of it in, the woman opposite us was nodding along aggressively and staring at Maggie's auburn wig as though it could fall off at any time and at any minute. Wasn't Prince a Gemini? I asked. I'm pretty sure he was born in June. Prince, God rest his soul, was Prince, Maggie said, looking me dead in the eye. Astrology did not and does not apply to Prince. If you get involved with a Gemini man, you'll regret it. They like the chase, trust me. The pursuit of a woman makes them feel strong. It makes them feel good and it makes them think they have a purpose in life. And we all know that unless men have a purpose, they feel aimless. But Gemini men are a whole different story. Maggie continued with awe-inspiring enthusiasm. When they do finally get the woman, they'll drop her. Drop her like they didn't even know her. Gemini men don't mind who they hurt, who they have to use, who they have to step over. They don't even bloody notice. Are you sure you don't mean white men, Maggie? I asked, narrowing my eyes. Her line of fire sounded a little too specific. You can take it how you want to, she said, folding her arms and pursing her lips. You're the one who thought she found her white savior, and now look. Okay, I still have a few minutes until past, and then I'll look out for the comments. Maggie is a big woman in all ways. She has a new and even more surprising wig made every week. She doesn't like to wear the color black because it's too depressing, and she has to wear more than one pattern at any given time, even when she's pottering around the house, because Jesus wants life to be about color. The obsession with color is a nod to her fleeting career as an artist, a career in which she never created anything but hype around herself. Maggie is also intensely religious, but the less ever said about that, the better. My aunt and grandmother always used religion as a stick to beat everyone with, and to even dwell on it for more than 1 second would be to entertain something I had no time for. Whew, this Maggie is a character. I sat on the edge of my seat to prevent the hospital staff from screaming my full name out this time around. What's to stop them from looking me up when I've gone? I asked Maggie, trying to derail her rant. What are the rules? Who's looking you up? She asked me. Anyone in the waiting room? I answered quietly. You're not a celebrity, Queenie, Maggie said. Don't be so paranoid. Also, I'm always very paranoid as well. Like when, you know how people ask for your telephone number to confirm something, like they're looking on the screen, and then you say your number, and I'm always just wondering about the people at the back. But anyway, that's just me. Queenie Jenkins, the nurse from before bellowed. I patted Maggie on the knee to signify that I was about to go in and jumped up. She didn't stop talking. The nurse didn't smile back at me. Instead, she placed a hand gently on my shoulder and trotted me down the clinical corridor and led me back into the room that smelled like someone had spilled a bucket of bleach. I glanced nervously at the ultrasound machine as it hummed in the corner. You can put your things back down there, she said, pointing to the chair by the door. For the second time, maybe more so this time, I wished it had been Tom there in that chair, but I didn't have time to lament because the nurse was staring at me, so I threw my bag on it. Can you remove your tights and your underwear and put your legs back in the stirrups, and I'll go and get the doctor. Again? I asked, throwing my head back like a surly teenager. Yes, please. She left the room. I should have worn tracksuit bottoms for this, both because I would live in them if I could, and because tights are a complete faff. Putting them on requires half dance, half contortion, and should only be done once in a day in a private sphere. I got my phone out to text my best friend, who was probably doing something less horrifying with her afternoon. Queenie. Darcy, they're asking to examine me for the second time. I've had this machine in me more times than Tom in the last few weeks. The doctor, a brisk woman with kind eyes that had clearly seen a lot of women's fear, swept back into the room. She spoke very slowly, explaining that she was going to have one more check of something. I sat up. What are you looking for? I asked. You said the coil was there. She responded by snapping on a pair of latex gloves, so I lay back down. Okay, she uttered, after a pause and a prod. I've asked another doctor for a second opinion, and having had another look, it's just that, well, is there any chance you were pregnant, Queenie? I sat up again. My stomach muscles would be shocked into thinking that I was exercising at this rate. I'm sorry, what do you mean? Well, the doctor said, peering at the ultrasound, it looks like you've had a miscarriage. I lifted my hand to my mouth, forgetting that I was holding anything. My phone slipped out of my grip and onto the floor. The doctor paid no attention to my reaction and continued looking at the screen. Why? I asked, desperate for her to look at me, to acknowledge that this news might have affected me in some way. It can happen with most forms of contraception, she told me clinically, her eyes that I'd previously thought were kind, still fixed on the screen. Most women just don't know about it. At least it's done the job. I lay back on the examination table long after she'd left the room. Sure. guys. Okay. Miss Weiner is asking me if that's her copy. Is that my copy you are reading? Was I supposed to buy you a copy? Oh my god. Okay. I'm always, Palo says, I'm always conscious about the book size. Okay, yeah, because I'm busy and time conscious. Palo, you need to explain this. I mean, if you could see, like, have you seen this book that we're reading for Mondays on New Daughters of Africa? How big it is? I think it's 900 pages or something. No, you can't be serious. Hi, everybody. Hi, Reader's Warehouse. Hi, South African fangirl. Hello, 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 Ilufefe. Hey, Spe. The book sounds fun. Yeah, it sounds fun, but worrying. Like, sure. Yeah, no. That sound of latex gloves in my Guyanese examining room always heightens my anxiety. I know, right? Yo, it makes me so nervous. Actually, I just remembered I haven't been to her in a while. I need to go. Yo, hectic. So, that was the first part. Hi, guys. Queenie. Sure. I need a sip. What do you think, guys? You must get the book. I'm not gonna read any further. I think I'm done. Yo. Or maybe I should read now and then I finish at 22 and then we decide if you guys are convinced that this book is worth. But wait, it is worth it though. Sure. I've wondered where you get the time. It's alright though. We will discuss that under challenges with book clubs. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, okay, so you still another time. So you're still looking for a book club in Northwest. I remember now. That girl will stress you. Drank girl. Listen. Like, hey. Okay, that comment was from the Nameless Book podcast. This book is gonna drive us crazy, guys. Y'all must go buy it. Look at the price. I mean, 70 bucks. If your local book bargain books doesn't have it, ask them to look for another copy somewhere else, and maybe ask them to bring it in for you while these specials are still underway, and maybe we can co-read maybe in August or something. Cause sure, no, I've been reading. Yeah. Anyway, let me continue, and then Portia says, I'm late, I'll just go to YouTube. Okay, but I'm gonna continue anyway. Oh, YouTube will have beautiful children, Tom's grandmother said, staring at us from across the table. Joyce had cataracts, but she could still see the future, it seemed. Also, I think I'm gonna like Queenie's humor. I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but I think I like that about her. Your lovely soft brown skin, Queenie, but lighter. Like a lovely milky coffee, not too dark. And Tom's green eyes. Your big hair, Queenie, those dark eyelashes, but Tom's nice straight nose. I looked around to see if anyone else at the table was shocked by what she said, but apparently it was acceptable. Yeah, that sounds to me like low, I don't know, low-key racism, but anyway, okay. Hey, grandmothers are problematic. I looked around to see if anyone else at the table was shocked by what she said, but apparently it was acceptable. I don't think you can pick and choose like an E-fit, Joyce, I said, fiddling with the pepper grinder. True, Joyce said. It's a shame that. Later on, when we were in bed, I turned to Tom and put my book down. What's wrong with my nose? What do you mean? Tom asked, concentrating on whatever tech article he was reading on his phone. Your grandma, at dinner, she said that our future baby should have your nice straight nose. Ignore her. She's just being old, isn't she? Tom said, putting his phone down on the bedside table. Your nose is nice and squishy. It might be my favorite thing about your face. Oh, thanks, I guess, I said, picking my book back up. Well, let's hope that our children don't get any of my squashed features. I said squishy, not squashed. And I'd rather our kids looked more like you than me. Your face is more interesting than mine. And I love your nose. Almost as much as I love you, Tom said, booping me on the appendage in question with a finger. He moved so that I could nuzzle into him, and although I wasn't a person who ever felt particularly safe, I did, but just for a second. So you've thought about it, I asked, looking up at him. Your nose? Sure. I think you've got a lovely nose. He rested his chin on my forehead. No, our children, future babies. Yeah, I've got it planned out. In 6 years, when we've got a house and I've forced you down the aisle, we'll have children, Tom said, smiling. 3 is the right amount. 3? 1 is selfish. 2 means they'll always be competing. But when you have 3, they can start looking after each other as soon as the eldest is 8. Okay. 3 coffee-colored babies, but milky, right? Just like Grandma ordered. Okay, so here's an SMS back to back. Oh, actually, it's just an SMS. Tom, hello. Are you seeing my messages? That's the next one. I'll call when I'm on my way home. Third one. Got to go to the chemist and get some pills. Fourth. Let me know if you need me to bring anything home. I sat in the corridor staring at my phone's smashed screen, waiting for Tom to reply. A few minutes passed and eventually I walked back towards the waiting room. I could hear Maggie talking as I made my way towards her. One day, years ago now, my ex-husband told me I was popping out for petrol. And do you know what? He was gone 15 hours. When he got back, I said, Terence, where did you get the petrol? Scotland? She paused for effect. I told him to get out after that. I had a baby to look after. I had my bills to pay. I couldn't deal with any man's nonsense. Maggie paused to adjust her bosom. The day after he left, I went to the doctor and I said, listen, tie my tubes in a knot. I'm not having any more. I'm telling you. The one I've got is 15 now. All she gives me is trouble. It's all about makeup and boys and fake eyelashes and making videos for YouTube. This isn't what my mom came over from Jamaica for her granddaughter to be throwing away her education. Maggie folded and unfolded her arms. I go to church and I pray. I pray for myself. I pray for my daughter, for my niece. I just have to hope he's listening. Marina. How were my aunt and this stranger already on first name terms? I hadn't been gone that long. I threw myself down next to my aunt. Marina, sat opposite, was nodding vigorously, although Maggie had finished speaking. What did they say? Maggie asked, pulling out the hand gel again. I swerved the question. Nothing really. Just women's problems. You know. What women's problems? Maggie is a first-generation Jamaican and therefore a woman entitled to information about others. Just women's problems, I said, forcing what I hoped was a convincing smile. Maggie and I stood at the bus stop outside the hospital. She spoke about something I couldn't quite pay attention to as I looked up at the 3 gigantic tower blocks looming opposite, so high up that dark clouds almost hid their tops. I kept my head tilted back, hoping that if I held it there long enough, the tears that were brimming in my eyes wouldn't fall out. Queenie, what did the doctor say? My aunt narrowed her eyes at me. I don't buy this women's problems rubbish. Do I have to prize it out of you? Why did I think I'd got her off the topic earlier? She asked to look at my cervix. Maggie, I said, hoping that would get her off my case. Something about it being narrow. She looked at me, annoyance and then shock contorting her face. Pardon? Must you embarrass me? She said through gritted teeth, looking around. We do not talk about our V's in public. But I didn't say vagina, I said cervix, I replied. Her lips tightened. Anyway, the bus is here. Yeah, no, I've read for 40 minutes. Guys, Queenie is going to be interesting. Okay, so Queen says, I also like the humor. So if you're into makeup and all things lifestyle, please follow A Queen's Pleasures. She's on the comments as well. That's my friend. The aunt is a piece of work. Like, I mean, she's first generation, so obviously she talks a lot. Her opinion matters the most, and everything about like Jesus and God and she must actually force down everyone's throat. Yeah, 6 years before they walked down the aisle. Imagine, wait, Miss Weiner, imagine like this boy. No, I mean, and Margaret was something else. No, she's something else, guys. I feel like Kishapuki already. I'm like, whew, she's too much. And like, what's up with talking about, like, why does she think that talking about your vagina, like, we do not talk about our V. Like, ooh, Maggie too much, like, Gishap. But yeah, guys, that was today's reading of Queenie. Ms. Weiner, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. This is not your copy, this is my copy. I don't have any other copies of Queenie, but next week's giveaway, I'm hoping will be exciting, something to like put some happiness on the timeline, and I hope that yeah, it'll rake up the numbers on YouTube. So yes, this will be loaded up on YouTube in a few minutes. She was too holy for the word vagina. I mean, yeah. Oh, guys, I actually thought that I had pinned the title. I thought I pinned it a long time ago. But yeah, I think you guys got the gist, right, of everything that I was reading. And I have been doing this with the cover. I love the cover. It's so lady braidsy, you know. Love it, love it, love it. Please don't be put off by the size of the books, Balo. Like, I think that's the other thing that one can appreciate about book clubs. When you're part of a book club or a reading group, for that matter. Like, we have been reading from the 30th Candle. I put it back out. Oh yeah, we've been reading from we've been reading from the 30th candle, from the 1st of July until the 15th, and then we'll be discussing it tomorrow. And it's been like, it's got 65 or 68 chapters, between 4 friends, right? And I thought it's got 69 chapters or something like that. And I enjoyed it, and I actually felt like reading it and discussing with other people made it more quicker. I mean, in 10 days I was already done, or maybe it's because I have read it before, but reading with book clubs and reading with groups actually helps. And it's like cooking and doing like like watching a live cookout with Mohau, the lazy makoti. Like, people say, oh, it's been so easy watching you do the cooking while I cook as well, because then it makes the kitchen not such a daunting place, I think that's the success of her book as well. She's made it so relatable. So reading, that's the point of reading groups and reading book clubs, and being accountable to other people, So don't be turned off or put off with thick books like this thick book. I mean, do you see? This is another book that I need to get into, but yeah, I think I'll also get like a reading group to go through it, because it's rather very thick. But yeah, that was today's reading, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And yes, it was we are almost 40 minutes, so we are done for today. I hope you have enjoyed this week's readings. If you have missed them, on Monday I read from New Daughters of Africa, and on Tuesday I read from Feminism Is, and Wednesday I read from the Gerald Clark anthologies, and on yesterday I read from an online literary magazine, actually, so you can check those out. They are loaded on IGTV. If you would rather go and watch on YouTube, they are also loaded on there. I hope you enjoyed it. For those who just came in late, this will be saved on IGTV and YouTube. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Queen. Queen says, I loved it as usual. Thank you. Fee Lost in Books says, I liked that. She was too holy for the word vagina. And Paulo enjoyed the book. I'm looking forward. Ms. Vina says, I'm looking forward to reading Queenie. Cannot wait to unravel Auntie Maggie's complex character. It really is complex. I mean, whew, shame. There you go. I'll see you guys on Monday at 5. Happy weekend. And for those who I'll be seeing tomorrow for book club discussion or co-reading discussion, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Thanks for the reading. Have a good weekend. You too. Thank you.